Okay, so our first talking point here is that 2001: A Space Odyssey is the super sequel to Planet of the Apes. It's a very backwards like mentality. It's a lot like Star Wars because Star Wars they have like the middle of the story that wasn't really planned, but was executed. And there was the prequels with the planning, then there was the sequels without the planning. But besides that whole planning shenanigans, the story was told not chronologically through over time. It was a bit mix and match due to budget limitations, so the way the script was working, the lightning in a bottle moments for all the movies. The same could be said for Planet of the Apes and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, we got Mr. Kubrick, Steven Stanley Kubrick. He basically made a sequel. This is going to sound pretty crazy, but hear me out. So, I think... Hold on. Because it's either a toss-up between Planet of the Apes and Space Odyssey. I think Planet of the Apes came out first. Let me see. Okay. No, it's about the same time. Holy crap. But still, think about it. 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 It's gonna... So, the first part of the story can go either way throughout the timeline. You can either do the trilogy of Planet of the Apes movies of the Caesar story made from 2011 to 2017, that I believe. I've at least seen the last movie in theaters. It's pretty good. And then there'll be Kingdom, which will be more of a connection to Planet of the Apes from the 60s and the 2001 remake with Mr. Wahlberg, Cade Yeager. And then after that, this is going to tie into freaking King Kong because of, not because of apes, but because of also lore. Specifically, well, not really specifically, but definitely more with like the 2005 version than the 30 version. Because the lore is that the civilization that lived on Crystal Kingdom Skull Island, the Skull Island residents were a super advanced, not really Aztec, but forest world like environment, and they were super advanced at one point. But during the events of the King Kong movie, like in 2005, for example, they devolved over time due to some type of curse, evil corruption, while the dinosaurs, evolved to a higher state than they are, because King Kong was the only one mainly being the biggest alpha in Skull Island besides the V-Rex and the little Bananasauruses and whatever, apex predators are on that plane of Skull Island. This connects because we could say in Planet of the apes rise above the humans, and when they rise above the humans, they then devolve, and we could say past Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. There might be some humans involved. They might do some weird interspecies horse girl breeding, ape girl breeding, but over time it's almost like a de-evolution. They all return back to apes, and in 2001: A Space Odyssey, that's when we kick off the super ultra sequel from the future of 2001. Basically, it's gonna be a BBC, not a BC, but a BBC, and post BBC, the apes are back to their primitive state, perfectly evolved, no sickness. They just only suffer sicknesses through animals. There's like a cheetah in the movie and a jaguar and whatnot. But the apes, they do look a bit different. They don't look like regular apes. They got humanoid apes, hence Planet of the Apes. And the whole history gets erased from maybe a great flood or, I don't know, the rapture. Who knows? Maybe the Earth had just a bad weather, sick weather day, and then they had to. It was a super de-evolution, but they go back again because of that weird rectangle prism thing. Rectangular prism. That's what gets them to jumpstart again, evolve right back into humans, into 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the movie continues with the AI allegory. And that is the super duper theory of 2001: Space Odyssey being a pseudo canon sequel to Planet of the Apes, and you can mix and match what the lore is. But you can basically combine the whole thing, and it makes sense. But does it really? No, not actually. Absolutely not. But I say it does, and it's pretty funny.